Hey there folks, this is GreenyXI welcoming you right back to Let's Play Higurashi. This is episode 59. In the last episode, Satoko went back to school and we found out about her uncle and everything and how he's a right shitebag and making her do the cooking, cleaning, stay home from school and all that sort of stuff. It's gonna get a lot worse before it gets any better, not gonna lie. It is boiling hot today and I'm exhausted at the same time, so if I sound a little bit drained, that will be why. Someone pointed out in the comments for the last episode that there's a lot of sort of lag and I don't know, it was just playing up a lot. And I looked back and there was quite a bit of it, so I don't know why that happened. I always shut down all programs and everything and make sure there's no processes that I don't absolutely have to use, so I'd have had another look this time and there's like nothing, hardly anything being used of the resources. So we'll hope for the best. All that's going is Audacity for the commentary, OBS for the recording itself, the game, and Steam because that has to be running to play the game, so we'll see how it goes. I walked forward quite a ways, then turned right where the rice fields ended. I'd never come here before, so I had no idea where to go. I got lost several times, so it may have taken quite a long way round. Maybe I should have gone back home and got my bike first. That would have been a good idea, actually. It would have made everyone else worry if I'd asked them. So I asked one of our other classmates where Satoko's actual house was. I was going to go check on her. That house was originally her family's, apparently, not their uncle and his wife's. Their house had been bigger, so they had taken it for themselves. Ah, right here. Right, yeah. Several houses all in a line. Over there? I was visiting Satoko's house, but didn't particularly intend to meet her there. I didn't mean to spy on the enemy. Her mean uncle, either. Maybe I just wanted to be a little closer to her, as her Nini. Pretty words, but I didn't know if they were true. If what Tomita-kun and the others told me was right, it'd be this house. It's quite a big house, yeah. When I recognized it, my feet grew heavy. What did I come here for? My motive for coming here was absurd. When Mion had said at the end that we were powerless, it made me sort of frustrated. I just wanted to do something, anything other than waste the days away praying for a miracle. That's what made me come here. But that was all. Even if I were to witness her uncle actually tormenting Satoko, what could I do? Would I act like a comic book hero, punch the guy in the face and take Satoko away with me? Yeah, that'd work out, I'm sure. And then live together somewhere far away? That was ridiculous. I'm powerless. The cicadas' voices raised in chorus, sounding like they were scoffing at me. As though they were saying that if I couldn't do anything and wouldn't do anything, then I should go back home. I heard a car approaching, so I got out of its way. It could be the uncle. But the car stopped right behind me, its horn honking shortly once. Annoyed, hadn't I gotten out of their way? I looked behind me, and a familiar face was looking at me out of the driver's seat window. Who's it? Oh, hello. Coach. Hello, my Bao-san. How unexpected to meet you all the way out here. Do you live nearby? Me being here wasn't normal. Just as I considered somehow giving him the slip, I noticed Satoko sitting in the passenger seat. Ah, nice. Satoko? Satoko got out of the car and began unloading a lot of groceries from the trunk. I happened to run into Coach on my way back from shopping. He said he'd bring me home, so I accepted his offer. Ah, that's nice of him. She wouldn't have been able to carry all those groceries on her bike. As Coach spoke, he pulled Satoko's bike from out of the back seat where they put it. The grocery bags were big, and there were 4 of them. They all seemed to be packed full and very heavy. Yeah, she wouldn't have been able to carry all them. Those bags, 7 smart. Hey, isn't that a little far to go by bicycle? I looked at the bags and saw that they were filled to the brim with sake bottles, snacks that you'd eat with sake, and boxes of cigarettes. I'm guessing it's not for Satoko. Their weight was one thing, but their contents were nothing less than luxury items. I made it thanks to Coach. He helped me out. It was a little difficult going up those hills. I bet it was. Satoko gave Coach a smile filled with gratitude. But it was incredibly awkward and even heartrending. Satoko, these groceries aren't for dinner tonight, are they? Oh, shit. Of course not. I do not drink sake and I hate snacks. How can you hate snacks? What's going on here? Of course, I don't smoke either. He made Satoko go to a distant store by herself on a bike, so she could buy dumb shit like this. And what was the uncle doing right now anyway? He must have been working up a good sweat at the very moment if he needed to send Satoko out by herself, right? If not, then how much? How much has Satoko suffered for no reason? I hadn't intended to voice my feelings, but they may have made it into my face. Coach might have noticed, because he clapped me on the shoulder. My shoulders hurt, you shitbag. Just then, one of the house windows clattered open, and the face of a vulgar man, the very sight of which made me immediately avert my eyes, emerged from within it. Yeah, here comes the uncle. There were no self-introductions necessary. My gut told me that this was the uncle in question. The first thing out of his mouth should have been words of gratitude for Satoko. Satoko! You left the heat for the sake on when you left, you half-wit. Oh, she don't look good. I'm sorry, but you told me to go right away. You idiot. All that brewing I did for nothing. Idiot. I'm sorry. Satoko miserably apologized over and over, bowing again and again. She could be perfectly described as a small animal. I had no idea what was happening. Satoko finished shopping for all this heavy stuff that wasn't even for dinner. She only managed to come back because she ran into Coach and he drove her home. If she hadn't been found by him, she'd surely still be by herself, panting and moaning, pedaling her bicycle up that steep hill. What was with those words, those horrible, sleazy words that he said to Satoko? In what country's dictionary did it tell him to say such things? To a young girl who'd just finished shopping? My anger, of course, wouldn't reach him. The uncle displayed no interest in me, instead shouting at Coach. Oh, if it isn't Dr. Irie. Hello. Why didn't you come inside too? We're in the last round so you can get in right away. 100 yen per 1,000 points and anything goes. Yeah, he was working up a sweat alright. No. I'll pass, thank you. I just want the Satoko-chan give her a lift is all. I'll be leaving now. Oh, nah. Come play around. You got a lot of money, yeah? I didn't even understand what her uncle and Coach were talking about, but I knew one thing for sure. None of what he'd just said had been to thank Satoko in any way. Satoko, could you bring us the damn snacks? And start getting those beers chilled too. Go get us some cold ones from the fridge. T-chan, you're so harsh on her. She looks so sad, you should take better care of her. This is how I gotta treat her. She's been like this since she was with my bro. Spoil her, and she ain't gonna listen to a damn thing you say. Shit. Whatever, it's your draw, Te-chan. Tsubaki-san declared Ricci too. Sorry. What, you and Ricci again, Tsubaki? It looked like it wasn't just her uncle. Some of his friends were over. Hey, wait. What were they doing? Flinging rude words, left and right, making Satoko go shopping for a beer. What were they doing? My uncle's friends came from town. They played mahjong. He told me to prepare dinner for them as well. What the hell? Mahjong? He called his friends over for mahjong? They were too busy playing, so they sent Satoko to buy them a crap load of booze from a faraway store. And the first thing he said to her was how she left the gas on. What the hell? What does that guy think he's doing? Who could get lost in some dumb game of mahjong and send Satoko to buy all this stuff? Even though Coach was listening, he pretended he wasn't. There's a line of heavy-looking shopping bags lined up on the ground next to the trunk. That's a lot of sake by the seams of it. My Bao-san, you help too, please. You're a boy. You get to carry this heavy one. Coach, you're gonna let this slide? This is completely... Coach pretended he hadn't heard that violent outburst either. When I thought about it later, his reaction might have been the best thing he could do in that situation. I'll carry 2 of them myself. Come on. Help us carry them, please. The bags were packed to the brim with bottles of sake and bar snacks. It's a good job Keiichi came to see him then, to see who the uncle was. They were so heavy, and so filthy, so unfair. They weren't just heavy in terms of weight. They made me feel mortified. Nothing could have been heavier than that. Keiichi-san, there's no need to push yourself. I'll carry it. Satoko mistook my biting back for humiliation as grimacing under the weight and offered to help. Stupid. Don't underestimate me. Satoko had never looked down on my physical strength in the slightest. Gah. Coach, I'm sorry for you two. You must be heavy. No, not at all, answered Coach, smiling vaguely. Coolly. But I, and I alone, knew. Coach was an adult, so he just knew how to keep his feelings from showing. There was even more anger than I was feeling, burning deep in his eyes. Well, it's heavy. Yeah. Shit. Shit. It wasn't very far to the doorstep of Satoko's house, but the bag squeezed my palms and started leaving red marks. Yeah, sometimes it's not the weight, although these are obviously heavy, but the way that you have to carry them, they can be awkward. Fury welled up in me, and the back of my throat stung. But, even if it all came gushing out, it wouldn't solve anything. So, just tightly gritting my teeth was as much as I could do. Really, thank you so much. Both of you. You really helped me here. After we carried them to the back door, Satoko said that was enough. Occasionally, we'd hear the repulsive laughing of her uncle and her friends from within, and my insides would seethe. I knew they weren't ridiculing us, and that was why it made me so mad. They'd made Satoko shop for all this heavy selfish stuff, then ignored her and laughed amongst themselves as I pleased. It was deeply aggravating. Of course, Coach had to have felt the same way. But if he accidentally let his feelings slip onto his face, he'd only cause Satoko more worry. He knew all that and spoke coolly, as if to say he didn't care. Not at all. I'm happy I could be a bit of help for you. If there's anything else I can help with, please tell me. Yes, I really am happy you feel that way. That he feels that way. Those words were sad. Satoko herself was sad and resigned that we could only help her so much. But she was right. No matter how much Coach or I want to help Satoko, this was as much as we could do. I felt absolutely ashamed at not having the power to help her any more than this. Burning, boiling emotions were bubbling up within me and rising into my throat. Trembling all over, I almost started to cry from my fury. Me too, if there's anything I could do, I'll help you whenever you need. So, hang in there. I wanted to at least give her those trite words, saying that I'd help her whenever she wanted. Yes, thank you very much. I'm happy just that you came all the way here when you didn't need to. Satoko seemed to have guessed what I was doing in a place like this, when my house was in the opposite direction from school. She's guessed that Keiichi's trying to help. Alright, you should get going. They're drunk right now, so there's no telling what they'll get mad at you for. She felt guilty getting us involved, after we'd helped her, because she wanted to be the only one to suffer this misfortune. That's how it looked, and it hurt. I handed my supermarket bag over to Satoko, and then I noticed on the back of Satoko's hand, there was something that looked like a bruise. Dun dun dun. Hey Satoko, what the heck's that bruise? I knew as much as anyone else how transparent that sounded. I didn't need to hear it from Satoko to know how this bruise came to be. I just slipped on the stairs and hit it a little. Uh-huh. Please, pay it no mind. You're lying. Coach nudged me in the back, and then he put his index finger to his mouth to chide me from being so loud. Really, thank you so much. Until tomorrow. I hope we can see each other at school. That's not what I'm talking about. I asked you how you got that bruise on your hand. Ah! The evening glow finally got to a point where I could see the other concealed oval-shaped bruises and traces of swelling. On her neck, and her legs, and other places too. He's not smart enough to pick places where they won't show by the looks of it. I fell down the stairs. Oh, the very moment my violent rampage emotions were about to burst their way out of my throat, I found my mouth being tightly clamped down on. Ugh. Coach was pressing down on my mouth from behind, wrapping around me tightly with his hands. Because of that, I couldn't say anything. I could only groan. Which I did. That was all I could do. I needed to expel all the magma sitting deep within me, because otherwise I'd surely explode into a million pieces at that very moment. So I groaned. I groaned, from my mouth, from my whole body, while heat fell in drops from my eyes. I groaned and groaned. I groaned to the point of exhaustion. Meh. I wrung absolutely everything out of myself. Even having lost my voice, I was still wringing it all out. I understand how you feel. I really do, my Bao-san. Please just endure it for now. Please, I'm asking you, my Bao-san. Enduring it for now? And then what, huh? What would happen to her, to Satoko? Her body and mind were wounded, and she was being made to suffer like this. Can you not even let me howl in vain at it? Is that it, Coach? Are we this powerless? So powerless that we can't even fucking scream from the bottom of our hearts? Bloody hell, a swear word! Don't say that very often, or don't... I think it's the first time in this arc. I love this song. Have we heard it before? the saxophone-ish. I think it's saxophone. I've only got it on so loud for the mic, but it's nice. It's really nice actually, I love it. The voices of the Higurashi made me calm down. The sound quality ain't that good though for this song. It's a nice song, but it might be better to hear it on YouTube. I didn't know how long it had been. Satoko abruptly gave a slight bow. Thank you very much, Keiichi-san. Satoko. You looked a lot like my real Nini just now. My real Nini may not be here anymore, but I have another Nini named Keiichi-san. Yeah, you got it. I'm your Nini, and when you're in pain, I'll help you no matter what. Your Nini will rescue you for sure. Satoshi Hojo, you fucking idiot. I find it hard to swear, that's hard to say. If not now, then when? I mean, swearing to that extent. Satoko, she's never been in more pain in her life. If her Nini doesn't save her now, then when will he? Why did you run away? Why did you abandon her? Why did you leave Satoko behind? You don't have any right to call yourself Satoko's Nini. I won't run away. Huh? I definitely won't run away. I won't run away and abandon you like Satoshi did. He's been very blunt. No way. I will not abandon you. Flip. Tears trickled down from Satoko's eyes. And then she narrowed her eyes into a smile. Goodbye, Nini. Satoko took her right hand and awkwardly waved to me. I'll be alright. My Nini now helped me so much, so I'll be okay. I'll do my best until tomorrow. She's now motivated to keep at it, keep going until the next day. I'll be okay. So, for today, this is goodbye. There was no way that I could say bye, see you tomorrow. And then, from inside the house came a throaty, disgusting voice. Satoko, could you bring us the snacks already? It has been a while. Okay, Nini, get going already. I'll be fine now. Hurry. Let's go, my Ra-san. Staying any longer than this would be a bother to Satoko-chan. It would get her in more trouble. Coach, Nini's house is a little far away. I'm sorry to ask you this, but could you take him home? Yes. I'll do that. Coach grabbed me by my collar, and with strength, I couldn't have imagined him having started dragging me away. And I, unable to oppose him, started getting farther away from Satoko. When I read collar then, I imagined like a pet collar. She waved her hand to us, expression still dark, and disappeared. Through the back door. Coach got into the car first, then turned around on the narrow path and brought the passenger side door around for me. I know how you feel so well it hurts. No, I think I understand it even more than you. But right now, just for now, please endure it. She understood exactly how you feel, so please endure it. If you don't, I know already. I'm sorry, thank you for before. I meekly got into the passenger seat. The car accelerated quietly, and Satoko's house grew farther and farther away in the rearview mirror. We made a wide turn, and then I couldn't see her house anymore. He'd gone to her house and not helped her at all except to motivate her to keep going, which could be enough. Is your house that far away? It's in the other direction from the school, isn't it? I didn't bother to reply. I would have been hard-pressed to give him an answer as to why I was at Satoko's house. Coach didn't say anything more either. For a while, the two of us were silent, the only sounds from the gravel spraying over the road as we drove. I remembered how Rena said things were different than last year. At the time, she had Satoshi with her. Satoshi protected Satoko, so that less of the sparks fell onto her. But now, Satoshi isn't here. Yes, that's the unfortunate truth. Coach seemed to understand what I really meant when I said that. It's a terribly sad, cruel story. But there's a limit to our resolve, our efforts, and our assistance. It sounded like an excuse, but he was right. Even if Coach and I wanted to be people Satoko could depend on, that was all. It ended at the front door. No matter how much I shouted that I would be her Nini, no matter how much I shouted that I wouldn't abandon her, and no matter how much Satoko called me Nini, I couldn't do any more than that. Where on earth could Satoshi have gone? Right, Satoshi was another story. Her actual brother, Satoshi, he was in a position to protect her far, far better than we ever could. That was the cold, sad truth of the massive gulf between Satoshi and us. I wonder what he's been doing lately. Satoshi left home. I didn't know why. Maybe it was because of Oyashiro-sama's curse, or he disappeared, or something. In any case, he wasn't beside Satoko now. At the time, Satoko needed him to protect her most. He wasn't there. Why isn't he here? Satoko needs him now more than ever. A lot of people talk about Oyashiro-sama's curse, but the only thing I can say is that he ran away. One of my friends said that one day he just never came back. He ran away without even leaving so much as a note for his sister. Satoshi-kun had been doing part-time jobs a lot. At the time, Satoko-chan really wanted this huge stuffed animal. It ended up costing a lot, so he was doing all sorts of part-time jobs in order to afford it. I was waiting for this part to come up. He felt so strongly about it, he really wanted to get that stuffed toy for her. Everyone was whispering about how he at least wanted to get his sister a nice birthday present, since she was being made to live such a pitiful life with her uncle and his wife. In the end, he didn't use his savings for a birthday present for Satoko. Satoshi-kun disappeared and the police looked long and hard. They found out that Satoshi-kun had withdrawn all his savings himself on the day he left. After checking all over, they began to think that maybe he'd used his savings to go to Tokyo. Tokyo? For what? Again, all I can say was that he ran away. He saved up all that money so he could run away. He was that selfish, but how could he just leave Satoko behind? If he was going to run away anyway, he should have brought Satoko with him, that's what I was thinking. Even now, Coach was still calm. He wasn't trying to pour any oil on the fire of my anger at all. He just waited until my anger naturally subsided. After listening to gravel being crushed under the wheels for a little while, Coach spoke abruptly. Please understand. Satoko-chan, left behind, arrived at the same conclusion. I'm a burden on my brother, and that's why he abandoned me. He didn't take her with him when he left. How terrible must Satoko have felt, being betrayed by the brother she loved so much. But Satoko-chan was a very strong person. Of course, she had the support of close friends too, but that was how she regained her smile. Yeah, that's how she got happy again, because of her mates. I recalled how Satoko had spoken of Satoshi so brightly when I was eating dinner with her and Rika-chan a few days ago. At the time, I didn't think any more of it than how pleasant their sibling love had been. But now that I think about it, I realized it was like she was peering into the distance from atop a pile of tragic perseverance. Oh. She said Satoshi-kun will come back for sure, and that when he did, she wanted him to see how she was no longer a burden. Satoko isn't a burden. She's way better at day-to-day living than me, and she can do pretty much anything. I mean, she might fall behind Reno or Rika-chan in certain aspects, but she's way more of an adult than most people. That's the result of her having worked so hard, since she didn't know when Satoshi would come home. Her efforts were so painful. While she lived with Rika-chan, while Rika-chan taught her how to handle everything flawlessly, also she could welcome back Satoshi at any time, so that she could show him she wasn't ashamed. So, when is Satoshi going to come back? I asked Coach, but knew he wouldn't be able to answer. In any case, Satoshi ran away. He left Satoko and ran away from Hinamizawa. Someone said that when you leave Hinamizawa and run away, Oyashiro-sama's curse gets you, right? Then that made sense. Satoshi running away and his disappearance, that would obviously mean people thought it was a curse, right? And they could smile, as though it were his own fault, as though he got what he deserved. Hey, Oyashiro-sama, whoever you are. Satoshi didn't vanish because he ran away. You demoned him away with your curse, didn't you? If that's not what happened, then I couldn't forgive him. When did Satoshi run away? The night of the Watanagashi festival last year, when their aunt was killed by that deviant. It was a few days after that. On Satoko-chan's birthday. On Satoko's birthday? Bang! I slammed my hands on the dashboard in front of me with all my might. Satoshi, of all the days, he could have chosen to run away. Their aunt just died a few days before, didn't she? All your days of suffering were about to end, weren't they? You were just about to start thinking about their new life, weren't you? It's wrong to be happy about someone dying, but for Satoko and her brother, her birthday had come at a critical turning point. Their mean uncle had fled town, and her siblings would be left alone. They should have been able to be happy about that, on Satoko's birthday. Satoko was probably waiting for her brother to return the whole time. Waiting for her brother to return when he never did. Waiting with bated breath for her brother to return. Her hopes and dreams of a new life to come growing ever larger. But no matter how long she waited, he didn't come back. He didn't even contact her. Satoko, trembling in anticipation of a great present, just when would she have to face the cold, terrible truth? Satoshi, you fragging idiot. I could feel my blood rising to my head, in my anger at Satoshi. I was frustrated. I was aggravated. I couldn't forgive him. Satoko still respected and adored her brother, and yet he so heartlessly betrayed her. Such a person wouldn't just come back. Now, when he was most needed. Yes, no one would protect her, not even her real brother Satoshi. So when she started to see her as her Nini, I was happy. I pray for Satoko-chan's happiness as well, but I have a position in society and a job to do every day. I have little time that I can devote to Satoko-chan. But you're different. You go to school with her, and you're closer to her and Satoshi-kun in age. I know you think you can only do so much, but you're in a position where you can give Satoko-chan a hand much better than I can. So, I want you to help her enough for the both of us. That's what I wish for. But that's... Coach, you could... Of course, with my job skills, there are plenty of things only I can help her with. But in the same way, there are things only you can do for her. What I want to say is, we should both perform in every way we can. Well, is he gonna help her with, like, doctors, heal her up and everything? Was that a little too complicated? Coach added that, but I shook my head in response. When I heard him say he had job skills, it reminded me that he was an adult, in a different position from all of us. Maybe I should ask him about it. Oh, Coach, do you know a lot about laws? No, I know even less than the average person. Why? I thought back to when I argued with Mion and the others about Satoko. Our children's argument had only left us with the conclusion that we had to wait and see. But what would an adult think? What was it? The child welfare law? As an emergency measure to secure the safety of a juvenile, they could force him or her to separate from their parents. They can do that? So then, we could rescue Satoko from her uncle right away. Satoko-chan might not want that. Unless the person being abused wants shelter anyway, it doesn't go that far. Satoko doesn't want it? Why? Coach didn't answer me. I didn't know why he didn't. It was clear as day that Satoko's uncle was being violent and treating her like a slave. So then why? I clamped down on my frenzied emotions and waited intently for Coach to answer. But he never did. It wasn't like he was pretending he hadn't heard me. If I had to say, it was more like he wanted to explain but couldn't put it into the right words. Satoko-chan probably thinks of this abuse as a trial. A trial? This isn't some weird religion we're talking about. You might know this, but Satoshi-kun always looked out for Satoko-chan. She always relied on him, almost as though she was utterly dependent on him. I'd known for a while that Satoshi had always protected Satoko from their aunt and uncle, but that was his duty as an older brother, not something to worry about. I think that may have traumatized her. Maybe she figured that depending so heavily on her brother had made him hate her. And for Satoko, the current situation was retelling of the story of a little over a year ago. Yep. But this time, Satoshi wasn't here. So I believe that now. She thinks something like this. She wants to overcome this trial by herself without relying on anyone else. And that if she doesn't grow strong, then Satoshi-kun will never return. Now that he mentioned it, Satoko had never said a word about how hard it had been before. I figured she was being threatened not to talk about it, but I talked with everyone and we were wondering if we could report it to the Child Consultation Center. I have heard that a social worker was visiting Satoko-chan last year. Yes. In the end they decided to wait and see, and we thought maybe that made her get tormented even more. Probably. That was apparently Satoko-chan reported it herself. And as a result the abuse worsened, but was kept just out of sight. She was under even more torment, and the burden on Satoshi-kun for protecting her rose considerably. Could Satoko... She wouldn't be thinking it's her own fault for reporting it, would she? Coach nodded quietly. Satoko-chan would probably either hate it if you suggested reporting the abuse or feign courage and say you didn't need to. And even if you reported it in secret, she'd probably insist to the social worker that she wasn't being abused. Satoko always acts tough and doesn't easily admit defeat, so I could imagine that easily. And there are strict limits on the emergency measure. The Child Consultation Center would need permission both from the court and from the concerned party. If the abuse was known to the public, they could forcibly shelter her, even if she denied it. For Satoko-chan, that would probably mean losing. This isn't about winning or losing. It's real life. Satoko, she's... Back on topic. After they placed her under their protection, she would be sent to a childcare institution or the like. and she would basically be living there, so it would mean moving away. And with the change in residence would come a change in schools too. That change in schools, it has to be done, if that's what it will take for her to be safe. Satoko-chan understands all those things. All the more reason for her not to want it. Why? Because Satoko-chan's reason for living is to wait at that house for Satoshi-kun to return. She was a husk, an empty shell after being abandoned by her brother. How did she find her reason to live? Try looking at it from Satoko-chan's point of view, rather than your own. I felt like he was trying to confuse me with that hard-to-understand, roundabout way of talking so unique to adults. The point was that I couldn't do anything about Satoko wanting to stay in that house, and that I should watch until she gives in. In the end, no matter what I said, Keiichi himself was saying to wait and see. I don't understand. What? If I feel that Satoko is really in danger, I'll report it without asking anyone's opinion. She might not be happy with the result, and she might hate me for it, but I believe that will ultimately be what brings Satoko happiness. Keiichi turned to me and gazed fixedly into my eyes. It was written all over his face. He was shocked, and what such a young kid had said. Why would you go that far? Keiichi, no, rather, normal adults might not have understood. So I taught him the creed and the values that I believed in. Satoko is my friend, and I am Satoko's Nini. Isn't that enough of a reason? I stared at him with a will strong and unbreakable as steel, as his eyes betrayed a tiny bit of unrest. No, of course that's enough. We were silent for a little while, until finally, Keiichi said only that. Didn't we make a promise? I'm sorry, what? That we weren't going to ever let Satoko cry. We made a vow on that day at the barbecue party. I didn't think about it hard at all, but Keiichi and I still made a promise. That we wouldn't ever let Satoko cry. Keiichi gave a dry grin of regret, immediately apologising for not remembering. One way or another, when he grinned like that, it made me think that his enthusiasm for saving Satoko was a tiny bit smaller than mine. He lightly hit the brakes, making a skidding noise, and leaned forward. Could that be your house there? Oh right, Maibara-san would live at the Maibara residence, wouldn't he? Before I knew it, we were almost to my house. It was night time now. It was a long way. Oh, that's the end of it. That gave a lot of insight into Satoko as a character. And, yeah, while in the other two arcs before this, you never got to know Satoko at all. This time, we're really getting to know about her past and how sad she is, even though she always seems so happy. Plain to see. Yeah, it's putting everything into the forefront, and everything that's wrong with Satoko. Or Satoko's situation. Anyway, case 31. Let's have a little look. December the 1st, 1981. Prefecture Juvenile Welfare Division report. This is about when they first went to Satoko and all that. Case 31, November 20th. Satoko Hojo, something years old. Only one underline, so under 10, maybe? Residence, Hinamazawa Village, Shishibone. Consultation circumstances. Anonymous telephone SOS of child abuse. Abuse situation. Anonymous claims that a female child is suffering physical abuse by adoptive parents, her guardians. Family structure. Circle marks abusers. Okay. Adoptive father, adoptive mother, older brother, child in question. Note. In June 1980, the child's parents died in an accident, and she was given to her uncle on her father's side, her father's younger brother. 4. Child Consultation Centre's response. On the day of the anonymous telephone consultation, the centre called the child's school and asked of her situation. The next day, the welfare officer on duty visited the child's home and heard what they had to say. Both adoptive parents agreed to the centre's coaching. Okay. Contacted anti-abuse network in the city. As part of this suggested coaching, a district welfare officer in the area began visiting for coaching at fixed intervals. The scroll note below is stapled to the report. Related information from former official Mr. W. Not sure who Mr. W is. Maybe no one. Refer to 1977 document D23 number 44. Ask Chief Investigator F from the city's education consultation offices. He is well informed about it. Huh. So that's the start of the case from before. In other words, they got people to check. I think this is what it means. I think they got people to be on the lookout for her, and that's that network thing he was mentioning. I'm not really sure, but that's not the end of it, obviously, from the last time. That's only the very basics, the bare bones. But yeah, that's about it for this chapter by the looks of it. Chapter 6 is done. So, this has been Greeny XI. Hope you've enjoyed this pretty depressing part. Like I said earlier, it's not going to get any better. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again in a bit, folks.